Hi there, and welcome back to the Lisa Nichols Show. This is that safe space. Let's say that again. This is that safe space where we jump in and we discover ways where we can be good to ourselves. We can touch our next best version of ourselves. We can be good to each other. We can get more out of life. This is that what I like to call grown folk conversation spot where we as gladiators and change agents, movers and shakers, heroes and sheroes. We come here to discover how to be the best version of ourselves. It's all about giving you strategies to improve your life and to reach your full potential in all areas of your life that you call important. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about really the benefits of connecting with nature. I think it's something that I discounted for a long time, but the reality is nature is the thing that also gives us energy. It helps to balance us and calibrate us. I remember as a child spending all my time outside from sunrise to sundown. I would get up in the morning and I'd have to do my chores in the summer, and my mom would leave our daily allowance on top of the television. And I would do my chores really fast, eat a fast bowl of cereal, grab my $1 and run out the door. And my parents did not see me again until the lights came on, which was what was required in my house. All day long I was outside. So there's so much of us now that we don't spend a lot of time outside. How much time are you spending outside in nature? Now, you may be one of those people where you spend time out, you get under a tree, you do your Zen time, you take your deep breaths, you get out into the water, whether it be a pool or the ocean. You may be that person to take long walks. You know, I love to walk whenever I'm in San Diego. San Diego is just a place that I love to walk in. And I love to ride bikes when I'm in LA. I grab my brother's bike, my big brother's bike, and I get on the bike. But what I realize is that as we get older, and wherever you are in your age journey, we have a tendency to spend more time inside than outside. We have to be very intentional about our outside time. My dad, prior to his recent accident, he spent a lot of time outside on the tennis courts. Like, he's always playing tennis, always getting some sun, always getting some exercise. We have a tendency to spend more time in our homes and with manufactured air. We have a tendency to spend more time in our car, more time in our offices. Without intention on doing something different, we'll spend less and less time outside. Like, as you get older, you have to become really, really intentional about spending, because you have less playtime. Summertime is the time of the year. It is not the free time once you become an adult. So feeling the sand or the soil, feeling the water or the breezes or the wind are super, super important. And yet it can begin to unconsciously escape us. I recently went on vacation with my husband, to our first vacation as husband and wife, to Nice. And while I was in France, I decided every day I was going to get up and get in this phenomenal pool. This what do they call the what do they call infinity pool? Yes, my mom's sitting with me. The infinity pool. I would get in this infinity pool, and every morning I'd swim laps. And do you know what I was thinking while I was swimming laps every morning while we were in France? Why don't I do this more often? Like, I got a pool in my backyard that I don't get in. When we get out there into the natural elements of the world and finally take that time, we realize just how valuable vitamin D is, how it re-energizes us, how it awakens us, and in many cases, how it protects us. You know, we are just navigated through this COVID climate. And one of the things that the doctor said when he was looking at my all of my levels of vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B was, you must keep your vitamin D levels up high. I didn't realize that, yeah, I can take it orally, but also I can simply go out into the sun. The water feels so good to us. When I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I worked in this really prestigious building in Century City right next to Beverly Hills. It was called the Twin Towers. And at the base of the Twin Towers, they had this hydro gym. Hydro gym? What is that? This hydro gym was really exclusive to the famous and the wealthy. And this hydro gym used water. All the weights in the gym was made of water so that the balance was equal. And then they would submerge you in the water. And they would, whether it be cold water to adjust your muscles and your healing and your restorative faculties, or whether it was warm water to relax you. Water, it was like a hydro gym. Like, water is so beautiful. And it actually influences other environments as well. So I want to ask you, how can you be outside? How can you allow the elements, whether it be wind, water, sand, dirt, shade, how can you allow the naturalness of outdoors, the naturalness of nature to help bring you peace, reduce your stress, bring you more joy, allow you to be more centered? Every time I sit outside in the grass and I do I at some point think, why don't I do this more often? Every single time. Same thing as when I'm in the pool. Same thing as when I'm riding a bike. I go, you love this. Now, you may not be athletic. You may not be athletic. But taking a walk, sitting still, like, all of it's so beautiful. I learned this thing. I used to travel over 250 days out of the year. Don't recommend you do that. But one of my biggest challenges was dealing with jet lag, because I would fly from Atlanta to Swaziland, and then from Swaziland back to New York, and then from New York to Slovenia. I literally would go on 4 or 5 trips, 2 or 3 different countries back to back, because it didn't make sense to go home. My home time would only be like 5 days, and I was able to get Jelani to be able to travel with me on times. So I would stay gone for a long time. But my biggest challenge was jet lag. Do you know what cured my jet lag? Like, completely. I haven't had jet lag in over 12 years. You know why? This process called grounding. I didn't even know it existed. Grounding. When you change environments, when you change time zones, whether it's just 3 hours, or whether it's 8 hours, or whether it's 12 hours, you ground. And what that means is you take your shoes off. You go out into the grass, the dirt, or the sand. You can't do it on cement. It must be something natural, grass, dirt, or sand. And you sit there or stand there for at least 20 minutes. Guess what happens? You know how when your cell phone is on and you land in a new city or a new state in a new time zone, and all of a sudden your cell phone just changes to the new time zone automatically? That's what your body does. Your body, after 20 minutes in a natural mineral, sand, water, or dirt, it recalibrates to the current environment and the time zone you're in. I know it sounds crazy. I didn't believe it, but I have not had jet lag, I even forgot the name, for 12 years because I learned how to ground. It's called grounding. So you want to be able to understand that. And then that same nature that gives you so much, we need to give back to it as well. This was also something new for me in the last 10 years. So my question to you is, how can you be more responsible for the longevity of this planet? There is someone coming after you. There is a child being born. There's families, but there's great-great-grandchildren or nieces and nephews that will be here. How can you enhance and love the earth that's given you so much? What ways can you stand up, show up, and tell the earth, I love you, I appreciate you, I value you. I value you for being the place that my great-grandmother created. And I want you to be the place that my great-grandchildren can create on as well. I want you, earth, to thrive and survive. Let me share a few ways that I give love back to nature. And you may decide you want to adopt some. You may already be doing this. But if you aren't ready, if you aren't already practicing them, then let me give you some ideas. Recycling is an obvious, great way to give back to nature. Choosing brands that use less chemicals. It's easier than you think. It's just a little reading and research, and once you know it, you always know it. Using recycled materials. You cannot believe how many things are produced out of recycled materials these days, and it's the same quality. Shopping with reusable bags. That's a big thing. That's really becoming quite global around everywhere. So, how can you be a part of the ecosystem? Ask yourself that question. I invite you to pause what you're doing and take a moment and get out in nature. Find a reason to just take a 10-minute walk. Get up on a bike, maybe. Go enjoy some water. Feel the breeze. Feel that water. Feel your feet on the ground or in the sand. Walk barefoot. Like literally be with this vast place called nature. I literally knew 17 years before I moved to the Caribbean, I knew I was going to move to the Caribbean area. Why? Because every time I went to the Caribbean and this large body of water was sitting in front of me, all of a sudden I would say to myself every single time that if my creator can create this large body of water and is just one of many, so majestic and so beautiful, then the problems that I'm stressing over are small. Keep the small things small. And large bodies of water reminded me of that, which is why to this day I love sailing. I love the beach. I love jet skiing. I love being in a large body of water. I love parasailing because it just is a reminder. I take a deep breath, a little deeper. So if you can find value in nature, which I believe you can, then go be with nature. And then let's be a part of taking care of our earth. It's given us so much. Thank you so much for watching this episode. This show is not just a monologue, it is a dialogue. We are in a delicious, dynamic conversation. I want to hear from you. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know how nature impacts you. Let me know what you love to do in nature. And let me know how it recharges you. And then I'd love to get some ideas on what you do to give back and love the earth, or what you plan to do, what you'll set your intention on doing, wherever place you are. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification to be notified when a new episode drops, because they drop like they hot and they're so good and people are loving them. And we'd love to keep you here. When I say that I believe in you, it's always because I do. I believe in you. And when I say that I love you, it's because with the purest form of agape love, I love you. I really do. I'll see you in the next episode.